Hi, I'm Zac Zabik, and I'm here to share my testimony with you. Um, as a child, I was baptized Catholic due to my grandparents' belief. Um, I wasn't introduced to the Christian church until about 4th or 5th grade. This was the first time that I ever went to a Christian church. I went with my family, my brother, my mother, and my father. And it was called the Rock Church in Port Orange, Florida. They used to have a youth service out in a portable out back, and as my parents were doing their sermon inside the church, I was out in the portable, and this was actually the first time that I asked Jesus Christ into my heart. At the time, I really wasn't understanding of religion or what I was supposed to do. I just knew it felt good and it felt right. I didn't really get into my religion until later in life, closer to high school. I got in a car accident in 6th grade. After this car accident, my friend Cameron actually invited me to his church. It was First Presbyterian of New Smyrna Beach, and I started going to youth group there once a week, and on and off going to the Sunday service. And my parents actually got divorced my 9th grade year, and I started going to church a little more because I didn't want to spend time at home with my family. It was a rough home life. But church was still kind of separate from my life. I started doing drugs, alcohol, misbehaving, but when I was at church, I was at church. I pretended like those things didn't exist, that I didn't do those, and I hung out with my friends and learned about God. But I still, I didn't get it. I continued doing drugs. I had a hard life outside. Eventually, my mother and I moved away from the city that my church was in, and I started going to a new high school. This made things harder. I, had to make new friends, kind of out of my autonomy. I got worse. Definitely just kept going downhill. I ended up failing 11th grade, and at this point, I realized my life was in pieces. It was in shambles, and that I was trying to figure out how that I could fix it, how I could get out of this hole. I was depressed. I was angry. I was upset. The devil had a grasp on me, and I needed to get out of it. I needed to break those chains, and so I called my pastor down in Florida. Started talking to him. We actually met in Chicago for a youth conference called The Cause. It's actually big. There are thousands of Christians there. That actually, I think, helped me clear my mind, helped me get closer to God again, helped me to forget about all the partying and the things I was doing wrong in my life, all the sin. And after this, I could go to church every day. I went 7 days a week. I did youth group. I did the Sundays, and other than that, I would just help put things together for the Wednesdays and Sundays, and every other day of the week. I hung out with only kids from the church. I talked to people at my high school about coming to church, and I kind of had a little relationship with one of the girls at the church. The youth pastor eventually decided that wasn't a good thing, and long story short, things went sour between me and some of the people at the youth group, so I took a little break. I started, just hanging out with people outside of church, not really going, just, so I could let things cool down, and got back in my bad ways, got back into sin. My grandparents finally offered to pay for my college, so I started college. Living on my own and going to school was hard, so I talked to my dad, came back to Michigan, finished up school, and found Life of Purpose Church through the Atkins and the Defadas, and now I think I'm ready to be baptized and renew my relationship with Christ and just say goodbye to the old me.